guess the trappings of what rock stardom is. You know, staying in the really, really nice hotels and fine dining. You know, jetting to shows and, you know, never even having to touch your gear, and a manager who treated us like rock stars. It was first class, 5-star, all the way. It was what I'd always heard what rock stardom was. But that was the '94 tour. We didn't have that in '96. We had none of that on the Sphinx tour. I'm Reynolds Washam, former drummer of the band Ministry. That's me there with the sticks and the hat, waiting to follow Motorhead on the stage in a place called Saxonia.
Okay, man, it's time. It's time to become the king of Saxonia! Yeah!
Meet Alan Jorgensen, founding father, no less, of a new form of rock and roll.
Yeah!
What came to be known as industrial music.
I thought they were good and funny, you know. And that's good for me. In my book, that puts you up there in the top 5, if you're funny, you know.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
No, after the first guitar solo,
Then there's one more fucking verse, and then there's a stop.
then the rest. I got it.
2 verses, 1 chorus. First chorus. No. Paul. Verse. They went bang.
No, I'm not doing anything.
They meant the rest. Oh. What's the matter? Come on. Tonight, Saxonia! Kill everything! Yeah! We must kill to live! Yeah! Without killing, there is no life! Yeah! Yeah! I think we met in Austin.
Yeah, in Philly, yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I went through a white boots phase, you know. My bootist period, I guess, or something. I don't know, I just wanted to look like Nancy Sinatra, basically, you know. I never could get the hair to go right then.
We have another hair, we haven't seen this before. And we're gonna kick your ass.
I don't have to prove anything anymore. I live to be 62. You know, that's it. That's the proof of my validity. Fuck you, you know. Like.
Motorhead, of course, dude.
My dream was to be, you know, like Al. He was the most creative guy out there at the time. And it seemed like he didn't give a shit when anyone thought about it. You know, and now he's on a big label. Great, I'm going to make the weirdest, hardest, most inaccessible record. It's a cool thing to be inspired by. You know, it felt like that was the thing that was really important to me in my way life turned out.
How about fucking Motorhead, yeah? They fucking rocked! But we'll fucking kick your ass too! It's Assault 69!
The way that I met that guy, Al Jorgensen, was Gibson Haynes from the Butthole Surfers and I were, we were living right outside Toledo, Ohio at the time, and we were penniless. We were just flat-ass broke, and we'd get money by, we sort of hung out at the Greyhound station there and would suck dick for a pretty low price, and we called it work. You know, each morning I'd see him up there and well, welcome to work, and we'd do that shit. And we saw this sort of dorky looking, sort of like, you know, goth wannabe kid who'd always like, he'd be looking at us and kind of, you know, he'd come over and go, hey you guys, what are you guys doing? And that was the young Al Jorgensen. And
hey, get out of my film.
Shut up, Al.
Get the fuck out of my film.
This is videotape, this is
Enough
not
about
film.
you, let's go back to me. Cut. Get out my film.
eventually we took him under our wing, and he learned to suck cock as good as Gibby and I do. And eventually he ended up making a whole lot more money at this penis suckery than we ever did. So that's the way that goes.
I think when the record company arrived, Seymour Stein came to the studio we were working in. I think he was hoping to hear a continuation of what Al had done previously, and he turned up. We played him something that sounded vaguely commercial, that Al had no intention of putting on the record. But if my memory serves me correctly, I think at the time we were staying up 3-4 nights in a row, and the favoured substance was like speed, to be honest with you. And I think some of that might have been slipped into the record company's drink or something, but I don't want to say any more. It wasn't too bad, you know.
I'm flashing to this. Okay, so if Ministry had never formed, what would Al be doing? I just kind of picture this really grumpy elementary school teacher.
Did you know that's what he was?
No way, really?
Kitty English list.
I was very excited that ministry was going to be part of, our family. I never minded, how difficult they were to deal with because I loved what they did as artists. That was always my, the most important, factor for me in dealing with artists. If I respected them, I don't care what they did. There was never any time when we'd say to Al, we need you to do this artistically. Most times when an artist wants to, go in the studio and record what they want to record, the way they want to do it, most record companies have allowed that. I'm not being Pollyannish about this. It's true, especially at Warner Brothers.
I'm pretty much useless when it comes to anything except being me. And I learned from Timothy Leary that is really the key in life, and William Burroughs as well, in the sense that you must reach a point where you get this society to really think you're important enough and valuable enough in your knowledge or intuition or whatever gift you have to get paid in a secular society so you can live without worry. You can live without secular worry just by being you.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
It felt like music that spoke to me, and it was aggressive, and it didn't feel retro. It didn't feel like it was modeled after some 70s archetype of what a rock band should be, or something based on the Beatles or Black Sabbath or something like that. But it was using technology and things that didn't exist prior to that in a way that was abusing them, and it felt like there were no rules, and it felt like, I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't been inspired by that and been borrowed probably more than I should have at times, but it really was from a position of respect. And those guys were, you see a band that was so good, and I'm in a band, that it pisses you off that it's that good, but it's good to get your ass kicked like that because the bar's, okay, that's the new thing to, beat. Rather than constantly wondering, how do people like this shit? And, I got a good ass kicking from Al a number of times on a creative level.
He was always nice, except when he was unbelievably hostile, and it was almost like he was bipolar or something. It was like what does he need right now? Right now he needs to be he needs to be liked. So he's so charming and funny that he can always be liked. He can make you like him even after he's punched you in the face. And then sometimes he just needs to be insane because he's insane, and that's just the price of doing business with Al Jorgensen.
So I went to Chicago. It was my first trip to visit Al at his home in Chicago. He said if I come, he'd play me what he had done. He never did play me anything that he had done, but we had a great time going to a Blackhawk game. It was my first hockey game, and it was really fun, and it was great, and I could see Al was really emotional and really got really viscerally involved in the game.
I got my 666 Satan Hawks jersey, and I sit right on the glass, and penalty box, you do something wrong, you gotta get with me for 2 minutes. I'm constantly on ESPN, just like...
And at one point, I can't remember the name of the team, it was some poor Canadian team that was playing against the Blackhawks. Al literally led the entire stadium in this horrible, vicious chant against the goalie from the other team. And I mean, I think the guy had a breakdown. It was like, I was like in this, like, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It seemed like so mean.
We're here with Paul Barker, Ministry in town tonight for a gig at Varsity Arena. It's our pleasure to sit down and chat and talk a little rock talk. Hi, Paul. Philadelphia City Paper, is this a weekly rag or is it a daily? Last time we played in Philadelphia, the promoter pulled a gun out on us. So we have fond memories of Philadelphia. Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. Oh, I'm so thrilled because I mean, I always like it when people, you know, sense the humor in the band, and otherwise, you know, it's.
There's this fucking guy that looks just like Barker's been kidnapped, and this gay bar guy came by and said he wants to he put Fabio on the guest list, whatever that is, and says he's a
Fabio here, man?
Fabio, Viking name. There's Valhalla, Thor, Odin, and Fabio.
I don't know what inspired it. I mean, basically just the will to make ugly music, you know, to make powerful, ugly music. It's so incredibly satisfying and second nature, I suppose, in that sense. I mean, fucker put me on hold.
We sent over, or I sent over actually, a carton of Ministry CDs. It might have been cassettes, but a whole lot of Ministry music to an Air Force base that was going over to Iraq. And then we got back this letter from a fighter